Good night, welcome to Teleislas News with the most important news of the day. Today in the Wildwin Peterson Auditorium at the Departmental Government Building, a formal ceremony was held to approve the ordinance that exempts the Rizal people from property tax.
The governor of the island signed the ordinance exempting the Rizal people from property tax.
Today is a historical year as just sanctioned the project of ordinance that established and added the exoneration of the tax, the land tax for the Rizal community. This is a battle that our Rizal community have been doing more than 40-50 years. I thank the Lord that we get the approval of the Departmental Assembly. I want to thank my staff in head of the Secretary of Finance, Charlie Livingston, that he worked and get until the last moment the approval of this important ordinance, project of ordinance, that with the sanction and the publication is going to become from now a departmental ordinance in behalf of our Rizal community. I feel good because this is a reivindication of rights of our Rizal community. We have tools and instruments, juridical instruments, like the Convention 169 from 1989, that is the Law 21, 1991, that form part of our internal laws. And that is very useful for us because we never might be get the opportunity to advance the way how we get it, and I feel so comfortable and I thank the Lord for this opportunity. I want to thank the Rizal leaders and the Rizal community for his support in this in the tramit of this project. I believe this is opportunity, a historical opportunity to our people to not continue to lose the land, the territory.
The Secretary of Treasury Office refers to the moment when the tax exemption will start to be applied.
This ordinance will begin functioning on the 1st of January, within a few days, and it will be benefiting the Rizal community totally from Strata 1 until 4.
A member of the Rizal community gives his opinion on this benefit for the Rizal people.
I think it's an excellent issue. It's something that we can say more than 30 years we're working on and looking for. And the last 5 years, throughout the Rizal statute, the Statuto Rizal, we have been working it hardly. We even went to the Agencia Nacional de Tierras, accompanied by governor and other people that in the struggle with us, and it wasn't possible. Every time you talk about it, they send you back to this the local government. And finally, then we get someone, a governor, that have, I would say, take the decision according to the 169 and the different sentences from the court that reconfirm us as an ethnic territory that have autonomy and rights. And this is the way that the governor reivindicate this one of the right to us not to pay our taxes, land taxes. And so far is a way that we can prevail our land, that we can stay with the land. Rizal people can stay with their land because this is an expense that off their hand and don't obligate them to sell their land.
The departmental government toured the 50-liter per second desalination plant that will benefit more than 40 subsectors on the island. This project is an initiative of the national government for the island of San Andres.
The Secretary of Public Services visited the 50 liters per second desalination plant to verify its status, taking into account that the corresponding tests are being carried out, which will allow it to be in operation within a few months. This plant will increase the supply of treated water to the aqueduct system, increasing storage capacity, improving quality, frequency, and continuity of supply.
Realizamos una visita tipo recorrido por la.
We toured the 50-liter per second desalination plant. This work has not yet been delivered to the department because the system distribution tests are still being conducted. The test started in December and will last about 4 months. This work is financed with resources from the Inter-American Development Bank, executed by the UNGRD through technical assistance from FINDETER. Protecno is the construction and contractor, and ProIntech is the auditing company. Thanks to the tests that have been carried out, it has been possible to comply with the schedule established for the completion of the water distribution.
One of the specialists working at the plant explained the plant's process in more detail.
Esta planta está captando agua directamente del mar.
This plant is capturing water from the sea, which is taken to the treatment plant that is in Laxbite, which is a reverse osmosis system that treats the water salt so that it then passes to the system where the chemicals are applied to improve the service to the community with potable water. After it is treated, it is sent to the tank on the hill, which is a new 1,000-liter tank that is in Mission Hill, where it is then distributed to the community, especially those that are connected to the hydraulic circuit of the hill sector.
The Secretary of Public Services, Asvel Bryan, highlighted that once the desalination plant is received by the archipelago, it will be operated by Veolia, and it is expected that the sectors that currently do not have constant water service will be able to receive the supply at least once every 8 days. On the other hand, the project includes work fronts such as the 1,000 cubic meter storage tank on the hill sector, a pumping and conduction system to the new tank on the hill, an electrical and pumping house for the seawater collection system, the civil works of Laxbite, and equipment for the new desalination plant.
One more step towards inclusion. Thanks to the efforts of the Tourism Secretariat, visitors and residents with disabilities will be able to enjoy the Sea of the Seven Colors. The beaches at Spratbite already have 2 walkways with reduced mobility that facilitate access to disabled people to the sea.
With a walkway for people with reduced mobility located in front of the Islander restaurant and the operation of an amphibious chair installed on the beaches of Spratbite, the departmental government continues with the work of having beaches that meet all quality standards. With this new acquisition, which is available to both tourists and locals, the island is getting closer to obtaining the Blue Flag distinction, which accredits the destination as one of the best beaches in the world.
El día de hoy estuvimos recibiendo.
We were receiving the walkway for people with disabilities that was installed in front of the Islander restaurant. It will allow people with disabilities to enter the beach and can reach further than the seashore, and then they can make the transfer to the amphibious chair from there, which is another of the services that we will be having on this beach, which is part of our Blue Flag project.
Those interested in acquiring the amphibious chair should only approach the lifeguards boat of Spratbite and request it with one of the people in charge. It should be noted that this service is free of charge. This is the second walkway that the island has. The first one is located in the Spratbite sector by El Dorado Hotel, which is about to be repaired since it was damaged by the tropical phenomena that passed through the department.
IDEAM announced the end of the second rainy season in the country, which gives start to the dry season.
IDEAM reported that as of today and during the months of December, January, February, and early March, there will be a mostly dry season in the Caribbean, Andean, and Orinoco regions, highlighting that there could be sporadic low-intensity rains.
The second rainy season ends in most of the national territory, especially in the Caribbean and Andean regions and the archipelago of San Andres, Providence, and Catalina. Rains will continue in the Pacific region. Likewise, the first season of less rainfall or dry season at the beginning of the year will begin from mid-December to mid-March. Let's remember that January and February are the driest months of the year in most of the national territory. Therefore, we invite you to take the necessary measures to prevent forest fires.
IDEAM calls on citizens to make careful and appropriate use of water, taking into account the conditions that will be presented in the coming months.
And in other news, in the coming days, the islanders will be able to enjoy local music that seeks to support the economic reactivation of the island through the staging of local artists.
Through visiting different restaurants and local establishments on the island, enjoy local music is presented as a strategy for economic reactivation, where artists and gastronomy team up while diners enjoy a show and their favorite food. This initiative is a strategy of the Chamber of Commerce of the department.
Como una estrategia de reactivación económica.
As a strategy for economic reactivation, we are managing the Enjoy Local Music since last December 15 during the weekends and in different restaurants on the island where random presentations of local artists are made. This has been very well received by both tourists and residents, which supports the economic reactivation not only of commercial establishments but also of the artists who are performing in the establishments.
The program will be held on weekends in different restaurants of the island, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays except for December 24th. Details of the event can be found on the social networks of the Chamber of Commerce of San Andres.
And now let's know other facts that today are news in our brief news section.
The Social State Enterprise Departmental Hospital conducted a health day for the benefit of the Simpson Well sector, where the community had different medical care such as general medicine, psychology, nutrition, and blood pressure. During the activity, the interdisciplinary group raised awareness house to house on water disinfection for human consumption, thus avoiding the proliferation of mosquitoes and avoiding dengue. Children participated in recreational activities during the day, achieving a healthy recreation. Today at 4 p.m. in the auditorium of the Coral Palace, there will be a training on fishing regulations, popular action ruling on the Queen Kong, zoning of marine protected areas, and a guide to food and good fishing practices aimed at artisanal fishermen, independent fishermen, and associates of San Andres. The anti-smuggling team, accompanied by the Custom Tax Police, arrived at different commercial establishments authorized to sell beverages with the purpose of verifying the security seals on the bottles, the consistency of the liquid, the condition of the container, as well as the expiration dates, in order to prevent intoxication by adulterated liquor on the island.
Claro Empresas llegó a San Andrés con internet ultraveloz para que vuele tu negocio. Adquiere todo Claro Empresas con internet fijo desde 160 megas, más planes móviles y recibe con tu internet fijo página web sin costo adicional, hasta 310 megas y más gigas en tu plan móvil. Adquiéralo ya, comunícate al numeral 400. Now we continue with Millicent O'Neill and the news of the municipality of Full Providence and Santa Catalina.
Good evening to all our viewers. This is the most relevant information from Full Providence and Catalina. This morning in the mountain sector, flames consumed the home of a family who had just begun to build their dreams.
A 19-year-old mother had to run for her life and the life of her baby after her home in the mountain neighborhood was caught on fire apparently by a short circuit.
Se encontró la casa prendida.
The house was found on fire and it was catching the other houses next door. 2 small houses, and yes, I had to put out the refrigerator because that's where the flames came from, because it caught fire. Anyway, one can't affirm that it was the refrigerator or that it was a short circuit on the street. Rather, this was an internal issue. Anyway, it is very sad for the people who live there.
The small house where the couple and their 10-month-old daughter lived was totally consumed by the fire.
The only thing I could do is take my baby and come out and beg help.
What do you know how to do the house? What are
bed, Nevera, TV, all the baby clothes, my clothes, my paper them, the baby paper.
Right now I feel bad, and I would have beg for no fear, for no one, or for no can please approach something for the baby or for the house, for help me build back the house. Or
sad moment. As I said, it's material things, but you know, say she make an effort to make a little house, a little apartment. Well, and today when they stay with an empty hand, when they say, well, a hand behind and a hand front of them, but they ask everybody who can collaborate to give them a hand.
The family asked for the collaboration of the community and the authorities to overcome this great loss.
And on the other hand, a citizen raised her voice in protest against the situation of the health center of the municipality, since she claims that the X-ray service is only partial.
After the recent motorcycle accident of her daughter and 2-year-old grandson, citizen Magola Taylor raised her voice in protest for the health situation of the municipality, since despite the high accident rate on the island, the X-ray service does not work on weekends.
They come here and they need to take X-ray on her and on the baby. And they can't make no X-ray because they don't got no contract to make work here, take X-ray, because we don't got emergency, we don't got emergency from Monday till Friday. How is possible that?
The citizen mentioned that there are not enough personnel and that doctors must work with their fingernails on the island. She asked for the governmental authorities to get involved in the health situation of the municipality.
And they beg no, put no hand on no hand, not only because it's my daughter and my grandson. And they talk in a health and benefit for this community, where I so sad and feel so molest. All this situation where they happen to we Providence. It's time. We don't want alcalde and concejal and president just one time them doing a new ballot. It's no, we need it.
Teleislas News tried to contact the manager of the departmental SSE to discuss what would be the improvement plan for this situation that is in the hospital without being able to get an answer at the close of this broadcast. On the other hand, other issues such as the lack of a driver for the ambulance, among other points that affect the population, have also been questioned by the community. This journalistic house will seek a pronouncement on these issues that continually affect the population.
This is all we have for tonight for this section of Old Providence and Catlina. Continue in San Andres with more Teleislas News. Good night.